Hi guys! This time I am doing my favorite retellings. For this video, I excluded anything that was just a straight adaptation. So, no Colin Firth version of Pride and Prejudice. That was just the book, guys. I love it, but it doesn't count as a retelling. I also am not going to count Muppet Christmas Carol. I love that movie, but just sticking the Muppets into the story wasn't enough to actually change the way it was told. So, yes, I had to actually retell the story somehow. Modernizations are cool. These are my top 10 favorite retellings. Ta-da! They come from any genre or form. They're not just movies, not just television shows, not just anything. So, let's get started. Number 10 is Roxanne, which is a retelling of Cyrano de Bergerac. Cyrano de Bergerac's like a play or a movie or book or something. And this is actually an adaptation of that. I don't have the original, so I don't remember who actually wrote Cyrano de Bergerac to begin with, or if it's like a fairy tale thing. But Roxanne focuses on Steve Martin's character, C.D. Bales, who is a fireman with an unusually long nose. I love all the nose jokes. Steve Martin can do ridiculous like nobody else, and this is amazing. I love the way that it stays true to the story of Cyrano de Bergerac, but it's completely modern. You could watch this and not even know it's based off of French, whatever that is. So, I love Roxanne. Number 9, I have Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It's a modern retelling of Arthurian legend. Arthurian legend doesn't really have a straight start. It started as folk tales in about the 1300s, 1100s, somewhere in there, about King Arthur, who is a mythical warrior king. This is before William the Conqueror and the official kings of England who ruled all of England in unifiedness. But their story of the Knights of the Round Table are classic knight in shining armor stories. And Monty Python and the Holy Grail follows King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table as they attempt to find the Holy Grail. And it's Monty Python, so it is really, really funny. Tons and tons of jokes. I love the knights who say knee. Knee. I love Monty Python. So, for a thing that doesn't have an actual straight source material, I'm telling this is a great retelling. It doesn't take it too seriously. It doesn't take the knights in shining armor bit too seriously. It's just fun and it's fantastic. Yes, if you haven't seen this, go watch it. At number 8, I have Wicked. The book is by Gregory Maguire, and I haven't actually read the whole book yet, but I love the musical. The songs are awesome. And it's a retelling of The Wizard of Oz by Frank L. Baum. Frank Baum? I can get the name right. So The Wizard of Oz is a story of Dorothy, who gets caught up in a tornado, ends up in the land of Oz, and yes, hopefully you know the story of The Wizard of Oz. It's an amazing book. It's a childhood classic, and the movie by Judy Garland is awesome. The musical Wicked and the book Wicked is told from the point of view of the Wicked Witch of the West. Wicked Witch of the West, Elzebub, and it tells the story just from her perspective and the perspective of Witch Linda. Anyway, it tells the story of Elzebub, and it makes you question, is she's not really evil kind of thing. I love the way it's completely reimagined. It's a completely new perspective. The events are still the same-ish, but there's so much more backstory in this, and it's awesome. And the musical, the songs are amazing. So, yay, Wicked. Okay, at number 7, I have Clueless, which is a retelling of Jane Austen's Emma. I love Emma. It is one of my favorite books ever. But Clueless, I don't know. I didn't even know that Clueless, when I first saw it, was a retelling of Emma. I don't think I even knew the story of Emma when I first saw this. But I just love this movie. It is my childhood, growing up in the 90s. I love this story. I love Josh and Cher. And I love just the whole friendships. I love the way it's told. It's a brilliant movie and a classic, I think. Number 6 is Basil of Baker Street and the movie based off of it, which is Disney's The Great Mouse Detective. And it is based off of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes stories. Ta-da! So Basil at Baker Street is a mouse. Basil is a mouse. He lives in 221B Baker Street in a little mouse hole. So he lives with Sherlock Holmes without Sherlock Holmes even noticing it. And I love the way that Basil just admires and looks up to Sherlock Holmes. And he takes Sherlock Holmes' methods of deductive reasoning and the way he solves crimes. And he solves crimes for the mouse world, the little rodents and everything. And it's brilliant. It's so cute. And I grew up watching The Great Mouse Detective, which was one of my first exposures to the Sherlock Holmes stories. So this is amazing. The movie is also amazing. So, yay, Basil at Baker Street. Oh, Basil at Baker Street is by Eve Titus, by the way, if you're going to go look that up. And it's a series of books. I only have the first one, but there's others. Basil has more adventures, too, so check out those. Number 5 is Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead by Tom Stoppard. I have the play, but it's also made into a movie with Gary Oldman in it, which is awesome. And it's a retelling of Hamlet by William Shakespeare. Yay! So the events of Hamlet are told by Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, which are 2 minor characters in here. And there are tons of jokes about people not being able to keep who is Rosencrantz and who is Guildenstern straight. And even the characters don't even know who's Rosencrantz and Guildenstern at some points. It is a comedy, most definitely a comedy. I love the whole telling the story of Hamlet through the eyes of basically servants. They're not quite servants. They're Hamlet's friends from school, but they're such minor characters that they kind of get treated as just servants. And I love seeing those characters get a whole life and a whole world, and they exist beyond what happens in Hamlet, so they have a life outside of when they have screen time here. I really love this. I love the movie. It is awesome. So Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead is number 5. Number 4 is the Lizzie Bennet Diaries. It's a web series by Pemberley Digital. I will put the link to the web series down here, and it's a retelling of Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I love this one. So it's told through a video vlog that Lizzie Bennet has, and we see her sisters. They use Jane and Lydia, and Mary becomes their cousin, and Kitty is actually a cat, which I adore. I just love the way they imagined how all of this would actually play out in the real world, that it doesn't seem contrived or something that wouldn't actually happen today. I love the way it all plays out. I love their actors and the way they play the characters. And it's so much fun to watch. It's a web series, it's long, but it wasn't meant to be watched all in one sitting. So check out the Lizzie Bennet Diaries. And also go check out some of the other web series, modern adaptations of classics. They are amazing. I have an entire playlist that I left down here, so you guys can find my favorites. At number 3, I have Shakespeare Retold. And my favorite Shakespeare Retold story is The Taming of the Shrew by William Shakespeare. The basis of The Taming of the Shrew is that there is Catherine, who is the shrew, who is just rude, awful, is never going to get married, doesn't like a man-hater, basically. And in Shakespeare Retold, the character of Kate Minola is an MP in Parliament. And her goal to become the leader of the opposition, she is advised that it would help her to find a husband. That would help steady her character because she's so unlikable, she's just so mean, that she would have a better, the public would view her better if she were married, and not just a single spinster who was rude, but a married, rude person. I am not British, so I don't really know the logic of that, but whatever. So she's advised to get married, and at the same time, the male lead, whose name I can't remember, and I can't even look it up in the play, because I'm pretty sure they changed it. But the male lead, he needs to marry a woman with money so that he can pay off the taxes on his father's estate, or death taxes or something, so he can keep his family home. So I just love the way that they fight. I love the Taming of the Shrew. I love the way it's portrayed in Shakespeare Retold. And if you haven't seen Shakespeare Retold, they also did Much Ado About Nothing, A Midsummer Night's Dream, and Macbeth, which are all amazing. I just really like Taming the Shrew the best. But go watch them. Alright, number 2 is Selfie. It's an ABC show that got canceled. Super mad about Selfie getting canceled, but I love it. It is a modern adaptation of Pygmalion by George Bernard Shaw, which most people probably know as My Fair Lady. Yes. It's a story of Eliza Doolittle, who wants to learn how to speak like a lady so she can get a job in a flower shop and improve her station in life. And she goes to Henry Higgins to for lessons on how to be more genteel-like. And Henry Higgins is doing it for a bet, basically. In Selfie, Eliza is the queen of social media, basically, but finds out that she has no real actual friends, and she wants to be more likable in person. So she goes to Henry, who is very good at interpersonal relationships, but Henry's not very good at the social media thing, and they teach each other, which I love, that Henry's also learning from Eliza. I love that part. I love the chemistry between the two. I love the fact that it's not such a screwed-up relationship. And Pygmalion and My Fair Lady, it's like, you guys shouldn't be together. Like, there's chemistry, and I like it, but, like, long-term, you guys are going to kill each other. Whereas Selfie, I think they actually do have a chance of surviving. If the show hadn't gotten canceled, that is. And my number 1 favorite retelling is The Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Meyer. The books are Cinder, Scarlet, Cress, Fairest is a prequel, and the 4th book in the actual series, Winter, is coming out later this year, fall, winter, something. They're fairy tale retellings. They tell the story. Cinder is Cinderella, Scarlet is Little Red Riding Hood, Cress is Rapunzel, Fairest and Winter tell the story of Snow White. Fairest from the perspective of the evil queen, and Winter, it's not out yet, but we're supposing it's going to be the story of Snow White. So, I love the whole series. This is the reason why there weren't any other princess stories on here, because this series does it so much better. I love science fiction, but oh my goodness, this is beyond that. It takes place in a dystopian future where we have a colony on the moon that is now mutated beyond us, and they have magical power thingies. It can do mind control and give us glamours, which are illusions. Starts off with Cinder, which is Cinderella, and Cinder is a cyborg who has been burned. She's been in a fire and she's been burned so that part of her body has been replaced by cybernetic implants, including her leg and her foot. And she ends up meeting the prince in the marketplace who needs help fixing droids, fixing his droid. So there are robots and cyborgs in this series, which is awesome. But she ends up falling in love with the prince and trying to sneak into the ball to save him from the evil queen. Which I love this. I love the whole idea that they're not helpless, that the fairy tale, the princesses are the ones who save the day and are strong, and I love this. The whole series is awesome, and I cannot wait for winter. But I love the Lunar Chronicles. So seriously, go check them out. If you haven't already, start with Cinder, its first book. Yay! Okay, there you go. There are my favorite retellings. I love reimagining stories, so this was a hard list to do. So let me know what you thought. Was there anything that got kicked off the list because I was only picking one source material, or just didn't make it on the list, period? What are your favorites? What do I need to check out that I haven't seen yet, or read, or listened to, or whatever? So, yeah. I love you guys, so laters, bye!